Hey, how's it going? My name is Ashley Rose. As you know, you could call me Ash, and welcome back. Hey, it's been a while since we've had a music interview. We've been doing a lot of TNA interviews, so of course, make sure you check that out. We just had Danny Luna on. She talked about ska music, which is great. Didn't know that the checkerboard on her gear represented that. But today we're going to go back. We're going to talk about goth rock. We're going to talk about horror punk. We're going to talk about metal. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Maybe I don't know. I'm here with Emilio, the man that's been in several horror punk bands. You may know him. We just call him Emilio from horror punk. That's at this point. But today we're specifically here to talk about a lot of people's favorite band that they've been anticipating this album after the EP, which is Dark Ride. Emilio, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me, Ash.
Awesome. I'm glad that we could finally sit here together. I was kind of a little bit nervous to approach you to be on here because I was like, I don't know if this dude knows who I am. That's totally cool if you don't. But we now know each other.
Yeah, and I'm super grateful for it. So thank you for inviting me.
Sure thing. So let's talk about Dark Ride, Emilio. We I know everyone knows you from like several different oh my gosh, I can't talk right. Several different horror punk bands. We could talk about Mr. Monster, we could talk about Stellar Corpses, but I want to talk about Dark Ride. So that is what you're doing now. Everyone like always talks about your EP and they're super happy that the album is finally out. Am I wrong to say that the album was in works for 5 years?
That is correct.
This episode is powered by Curse Cosmetics. Use my code A Rose Distortion for 10% off, where horror meets beauty. And also go to Abracadabra NYC, where horror is year round. The year round Halloween store. That's Abracadabra NYC. Same code for 10% off A Rose Distortion.
So, Dark Ride, what's the inspiration for the name? Let's for people that may not know who Dark Ride is.
Oh yeah, good question. So I love learning about theme parks, especially Disneyland. Like I think it's so cool. The actual theme park itself. I'm not huge on Disney, but I just love Disneyland, and I love learning about it, like documentaries about it on Netflix or not Netflix, YouTube. There's lots of good ones, and they talk about a lot of their attractions. Like they have a walkthrough attraction, they have roller coasters, and they have dark rides, like the Haunted Mansion. That type of ride where you sit in a cart on a track and it goes through a dark room is called the dark ride. When I was trying to come up with a name for the band, I it was so hard for me to come up with something that wasn't already taken by a movie or a video game, or it wasn't too long. Um, like I threw around the term Nightshade or Mistress Blade or Dear Deathly, but none of them clicked until I saw that video about the dark rides at Disneyland, and I was like, oh, that's it, that's the one.
There's a lot of like urban myths and legends about Disneyland. Uh, I mean, there's I've heard some that, for instance, about kids getting stuck or taken to It's a Small World. I've heard about that one. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've only just heard like things like the Haunted Mansion's haunted. It's like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense.
So going into Dark Ride, I know that during the pandemic was a big. It was a it was an interesting time. Let me put it that way. On all aspects of entertainment, I can speak in I was bringing it up the other day about pro wrestling, how it was an interesting time for pro wrestling.
Yes.
And you're a pro wrestling fan. I had no idea. I did see an interview with you, and I do know you did briefly mention it. So, what is your style of pro wrestling you like?
I mean, I started watching, like, how do I say this? When I was really little, I saw like Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, and thought it was cool, but it kind of scared me, because I was so little, and it was just I didn't know that they weren't really fighting. So I kind of steered away from it until 1996 when Bret Hart was the champion, and I fell in love with the Razor Ramon character. And my dad, before he passed, it was his favorite wrestler too. So my dad and I bonded over Razor Ramon big time. And that was right when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash left to WCW. So it's kind of an interesting time to be a wrestling fan. And then I just fell in love with the actual art of professional wrestling and especially ECW.
Hey everyone, it's Ashley Rose. As you know, you can call me Ash, and if you love wrestling just as much as anyone else does here in this community, such as TNA Wrestling or WWE, I've got something for you. I am officially a WWE Shop affiliate if you did not know. So that means you can grab all your favorite merchandise from tees, titles, and of course, any autographed merchandise as well, straight from the source. Just go ahead and scan this QR code on your screen, and it'll take you right there to your favorite tag team's favorite tag team. That's the Motor City Machine Guns, or if you want to support your favorite North American Canadian champion of all time, that's Ethan Page, you can definitely do that, or be a member of the Secret Purvis. You can once again treat yourself and become the champion of your own living room. That's, of course, a Fanatics experience. It's a good call. It's a good time period. Were you interested in ECW before the purchase of WWF at the time, now known as WWE, where before CM Punk or after CM Punk?
Oh, before I started watching ECW in 2000 when they had the TNA deal, or I'm sorry, the TNN deal, and I was in 8th grade, and I just thought the use of the weapons and tables, and Rob Van Dam, like it just absolutely blew my mind. Rob Van Dam is probably my favorite living wrestler now.
It's awesome to hear. Him and his lovely partner, wife,
Yes.
Miss Katie Forbes. They just had a kid recently. They were in TNA for quite some time. I never came across them during interviews, but I would have loved to interview them. They seem like such wonderful people.
Yeah, I think they had twins, like twin girls. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe they did. I know that I know they just had a kid or 2 kids, but I believe it was twins. I think you're right. So let's go back to Dark Ride. What are your inspirations as far as when it comes to music? Because when I get the sense of Dark Ride, I find it an interesting mix of classic horror punk, like we can say like Misfits, any of the eras. But I also kind of feel like you have a bit of a metal influence when the tracks are put together.
Yes. Thank you. With Dark Ride, I kind of take everything I like in music and just throw it in a blender, and this is what comes out. Like I do obviously love punk rock, Misfits, AFI. Yeah, I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan too, so I think that's where some of the metal influence comes in. And I always just like punk rock that has like a metal drummer and metal guitar tones because I think it makes it so powerful. But I also love like 80s synthwave stuff. I love like Duran Duran, Depeche Mode, all that kind of. I love Cyndi Lauper too. I love a lot of 80s pop, and that helps me when I'm trying to write a chorus because I feel like 80s songs just have the raddest choruses. Would you agree?
I agree. I like 80s music. I like a lot of the classics, like for instance, like what's it, Spin Me Around?
Yeah.
Song.
Dead
I
or
like
Alive.
Mode.
I had to lip sync that song in front of my entire school my freshman year of high school. Spin Me Around like a record.
So how did you do?
Terrible. It was so embarrassing, and like it was part of like being involved in homecoming. It was a long time ago. I kind of just forgot about it till now. But nerve-wracking pretending to sing in front of your whole school. And luckily there's no recordings of it.
Oh, well, luckily. But if there is, we may see them down the line. Or if there was, we might have seen them. They would have been out already.
I shouldn't have said anything.
It's
By
okay.
the way, I apologize for the shades. I'm just super hungover. I've been partying so hard this weekend for the release of Blade Manor, so I'm a little torn up. That's why I have the shades on.
No, it's okay. I'm totally okay. There have been certain people that I've interviewed that have sat down with me that have worn shades, not for that reason. So it's totally okay. I do not mind. Like I said, it's great to finally get you on here, and I'm trying to at least, get everyone on here as best as I can. I've heard your name a few times in different interviews. So everyone always mentions you. So it was like a prestige honor to like have you actually like come on here. And I wasn't sure if you were going to be interested, you know, now that you're with Fiend Force Records. So I don't know.
Happy to talk to you. And yeah, I mean, you're only the second person I've talked to about Blade Manor. So yeah, I appreciate it.
Coffin's a killer track, and I love how Blade Manor opens. I really do. When you sent it to me, I think that was like the first thing I told you. I was like, it's a solid, really solid opening.
I'm very happy with how it came out. It kind of reminds me of like Goosebumps a little bit, like the Goosebumps theme song. Something I definitely wanted for this record was I wanted a feel of nostalgia too. Because I myself am a big nostalgia whore. I love stuff from the 80s and 90s, like my era of being a kid. So that intro kind of harkens back to that, like the Goosebumps intro. I don't know.
I like Goosebumps.
Yeah.
I read some of the books. From what I remember when I was a kid, they had, what is it, like choose your own adventure books?
Yeah.
They did, right? I specifically remember that I had one actually in reference to a theme park.
I wonder which one it was. Yeah. Did it have a roller coaster?
It had to be called Welcome to Something.
Yeah. It sounds familiar.
The first Goosebumps book I actually finished that I can recall as a kid was actually The Haunted Mask.
Yeah, 2. So good.
Not even 1. I finished 2.
Oh, the second one. Yeah.
But yeah, not even like the first one I didn't finish. It was the second one. So yeah.
I just rewatched The Haunted Mask 2, like the mini movie they made last Halloween. The one from the original like Fox 90s broadcast. It's still pretty fun. It's okay.
It's okay. The first one was really good when they made their like little mini series.
The first one is the strongest one, I thought.
Yeah, I wasn't really too into like a lot of the other ones, but I think The Haunted Mask was probably the best one. Did you ever watch any other ones like Are You Afraid of the Dark? Anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm a huge Are You Afraid of the Dark nerd. Like I love that show so much. I think that's far superior to Goosebumps.
It is.
And especially the first 5 seasons, like they're still good. I'll still pop them on sometimes. And the intro song and the outro song for Are You Afraid of the Dark is so cool and so groovy and fun. So yeah, I'm a total whore for all those like 90s spooky kid stuff for sure.
Well, let me ask you a general question that I always ask everyone in every horror punk band or anyone. What's your favorite horror movie of all time?
Ooh, probably the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I love how unique it is. I love how unique Freddy's powers is. And I love that Heather Langenkamp is so good in it. And it's just such a unique monster. And it's got a lot of like that 80s kind of cheese in it. But I also really love, The Thing and The Shining. So it's hard to pick, but I'm gonna go with Elm Street.
Elm Street. That was the first horror movie I was afraid of as a kid.
Yeah, me too. Freddy terrified me as a kid.
Yeah, and then my favorite of all time, Evil Dead 2.
Oh yeah, excellent choice. Yeah.
Big Bruce Campbell fan. You can't see it, but back there I actually have an Army of Darkness poster above what you could see is the back of my bedroom. So
very nice.
So the inspiration on the artwork, I believe I heard somewhere that it was done by a tattoo artist.
Yeah, a super awesome tattoo artist named Jesse Hart that I actually met at Horror Hound Weekend in Cincinnati a few years back. But she's originally from California. And it's funny because like I'd had similar artwork like the Batwing made a couple years before by another artist, but I found out that it wasn't like an original painting. He kind of just like collaged like different shapes and like different silhouettes of bats and different clouds and the skulls and just kind of made it just from images he found on Google. And I really didn't like it. And it looked kind of more like a dragon wing. So I thought I'll give my new friend Jessie a shot, see how it goes. And like when she showed me she sent me a video of like the finished piece because it's a front and back piece. it literally brought a tear to my eye because it was so goddamn beautiful. Like the light oranges in the wing, making it look like it's kind of like translucent, like fleshy, like bat wing material. It was so neat to me. And so often I'm let down when I try to reach out to somebody to do art for me because I'm so freaking picky with artwork. But yeah, it just rocked my world. I love it. I'm so happy about it.
That's understandable. You know, it's you know, you've been waiting for a long time for this album to come out. So it's understandable you would be picky. I personally like it because it reminds me of a classic, how do I say this? Comic book style artwork that you would see if you were to buy like, or even if you were to buy like Famous Monsters. Not, hold on, everyone, not to be confused with the Misfits album. I'm talking about the magazine. Okay. So that's why I like it. And that's just my preference and my choice. So,
well, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I really like a lot of color too. I love like pinks and purples and blues, and it has all of those.
very classic, like color combination, purple.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very classic. I like it. I dig it. I think it's a really, really good album cover. Especially, you know, since everyone's been waiting for it. Everyone's been telling me how excited they are for it and how they were like, oh, we're gonna listen to that interview because, you know, we want to see what Emilio has to say about it. So what took so long in reference? Not that it takes a long time, but I know albums like people take their time. Uh, I know that this you've been working on it for 5 years. So more or less, what went into writing the tracks? What kind of sound were you going for? The production is fantastic on it.
Thank you. Well, a couple things made it be so delayed. So for instance, like we started working on the drums in 2021. Like there's a picture of me laying down some guitar tracks for our drummer when I'm wearing a mask because it was still like right in the middle of COVID. I had originally wanted Blade Manor to be an EP. I just wanted to release a series of EPs. And then I started talking with Torsten at Fiend Force, and he convinced me that I should do a full length record. And I'm glad I did. And I'd had other songs kind of bouncing around in my head, so it wasn't hard to flesh them out and kind of bring them into reality. But like the song Rewind, like that song was almost on the first EP. It just wasn't quite ready yet, and I would have rather, waited and made it perfect. Yeah, but then there were lots of other delays. For a long time, the record was like 90% done, and I just needed to do like a little tweak here or there. But all my team that I work with, like my producers, my engineer, they're all super busy people. Like one of my producers does all the live sound for Machine Head. That's like his job. Like he'll go all over the world with Machine Head doing their sound. So he's a busy cat and he's super talented. His name's Ulav. So I had to wait for him. And then Fiend Force liked the record, but it was only 10 songs and they really wanted me to write 2 more. So we went back and recorded Rest in Pieces, Life at the End of October. And we covered a song from my old band, Stellar Corpses, that is unreleased. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But so yeah, just lots of bumps in the road. And it just had to be right, Ash. Like I didn't want to release it if I felt like I could have done this better or that better. But to everybody and all my friends and fans, I'm really sorry it took so long, but I so appreciate you guys sticking around and enjoying it.
Now let's go into your history. How would you describe your music history as far as when it comes to all the different bands that you contribute to? That's why I joke and say like, oh yeah, I'm not going to talk to Emilio from Dark Ride. It's Emilio from Horror Punk.
Oh, thank you. I've been blessed to have some really cool opportunities. Like I've gotten to do a lot of cool stuff with Goolsby. I love Argyle Goolsby from Blitzkid. Of all my friends, he is the best physical performer, and the nicest dude, and deserves all the recognition that he has. And I always tell people I'm I get nice opportunities because I'm reliable. I show up, and I'm not insane. I don't do drugs. You know, I like to drink some beers, but that's about it. Um, but if you're reliable and show up on time and you're pleasant, that's all you really need. Like, I'm not a great guitarist or bass player or singer. I just do the best I can, but I'm reliable and pleasant. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And what I always tell people, what I was taught is that you're only as good as your word. So
Yeah.
if, I mean, if you're told if you tell someone, hey, I'm going to be there and do something, or I'm going to record this, or I'm going to go do that, or I'm going to help you out, show up regardless of what the circumstances are. So that's what I was taught. And also I was taught, be careful how you treat people on your way up, because the moment you fall down, you're going to see those people again.
Yeah, I believe that too. It's true.
So, and the only thing you can do in negative situations is just approach it as the most positive way as you can. And of course, choose your words wisely.
Yeah. Ash, I think there's always a silver lining to something, like even if it's bad or if it doesn't work out the way you want it, there's always some silver lining to be found. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, I've gotten to do cool stuff. Like I sang in Plan 9 for a couple years, which is San Francisco based Misfits cover band that I'd heard about forever, like all through high school. Like they're very well known where I live in Santa Cruz. And it was really great because it gave me the confidence to do the front man thing and be like, okay, I could belt out 30 Misfits songs in a row, and not always the most successfully, but I could do it. It's harder than people think.
You ever hear about the one with the spiral eyes or the girl with the spiral eyes? Well, if you want to make them look completely hypnotic, I would recommend Woo Eye Contacts. For those of you who've always wondered, hey, Ash, where'd you get them contacts with the spiral eyes? Well, I get them from a few different companies, but we're fortunate enough to have teamed up and be affiliated by Woo Eye Contacts. So grab a pair, scan the QR code, and step out of a horror dream and make them stare. And why not make them stare a little too long with Woo Eye Contacts?
Yeah, and I played in the last incarnation of Mr. Monster too, with Jason, before he passed, unfortunately. And our song on the new record, Life at the End of October, was what he was going to call the next Mr. Monster record. And it would have been a track on his record too, but I never heard what he had in mind. I didn't know what any of his ideas for it. So the Dark Ride version is literally just my imagination saying, hey, maybe it would be like this. I don't know.
And if you need a little extra energy to keep up with the chaos over here at Death Arts 13, we've got you. I and of course Death Arts 13 are teaming up with WGG. It's a clean, smooth energy, and it's perfect for those long nights out. So use code DA13. That's D as in David, A as in Alpha, 13 for 10% off. Just grab yours today. Stay sharp, stay loud, and keep that fire burning. And yes, that's an AFI reference. We love it here. Anyways, support us, support the channel. Get WGG. Yeah, that's very fortunate that he's not here with us. I think, perhaps he would have came on as far as my platform. I think he would have been down for it.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's very sad to hear that. And it's very unfortunate. I still, even though he's passed, I still tell him happy birthday every year, like on Twitter. He was on there. He was on there, just in case y'all didn't know. He was there every once in a while. Interesting enough, I had told you, I was like, yeah, I'm very familiar with San Francisco because I lived in the Bay Area at one time. I worked at Fry's, and you were like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, Fry's in Concord before. I don't know. I think they closed down.
Yeah, I think all the Fry's are gone now, unfortunately.
Hey, they were wonderful. I tell people it's like if Walmart and Best Buy had a baby together.
Oh, their horror movie section was excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was, the area I worked in electronics was audio. So I did. Can't tell you much about it, but I worked there. I sold some stuff, sold some audio equipment. Didn't know what I was doing, but I love the job dearly. I haven't been to the Bay Area in a long time, so I was like,
born in the Bay Area?
No, I was born in South Texas. I moved there in my early 20s.
I see. Did you ever go to Santa Cruz?
No, never went to Santa Cruz. I lived in Antioch and I lived in Concord.
Oh, okay, yeah. Huh.
So wouldn't have been too far off.
No. Actually, over my right shoulder is a Mr. Monster record, the split they did with Blitzkid, Exhuming Graves and Making Dates. That green vinyl is Mr. Monster.
Let's talk about what you got going on back there. So I see you got Elvira. I don't know. I'm going to assume that is a coffin-shaped something behind you.
Yes. So I actually have two nice wooden coffins in my room that were booze displays from like my local Rite Aid for Sailor Jerry and Jim Beam. And they had them for Halloween and they were full of booze. And I really wanted them. And I kept going in and talking to the manager once Halloween ended. He's like, I don't know. Normally the company takes them back. But I kept going in so much that the manager said, fine, you can have them. Just leave us alone. Stop coming in. And I said, deal. So yeah, this coffin behind me has like my records and a bunch of like valuable, sentimental things to me. The Ghostbusters Firehouse on top of it, and the album artwork, the actual painting, or half of it.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
That bat.
The other half is on my wall. I took it off my wall for an interview so people could see it, but yeah.
That is beautiful. I love that bat.
Me too.
I mean, I like bats in general, so anyway, so what you're sitting here and telling me is that Amelio does not give up. He is a persistent man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess so. I just think this is my gift and this is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm passionate about. And I also just really believed in the songs and my bandmates and what we're doing. And I just kept thinking it'd be such a shame if nobody ever got to hear these songs. We've been playing them live for a few years, but it's really tough to play songs live that people don't know, because even if the song rocks, they're just going to act like they're bored, or like they're not going to be really like moving around. So it's tough as the musician to play a song that's not released yet.
So out of all the songs, what's the most sentimental one to you? Besides, I'm going to assume besides the one in reference to Mr. Monster.
The most sentimental to me. That's a good question too. Coffin is pretty important to me. The subject matter, and also I think Do or Die is the most, because I look at Do or Die like a letter I'm writing to my younger self, and the song is about forgiving yourself and letting things go. Lessons I wish I was wise enough to know, when I was a teenager and a young man. I'm still pretty young, but you know what I mean. So I guess Do or Die.
I mean, I think we're like the same age. So, I mean, I just told you I worked at Fry's.
Yeah. Hey, I used to work at a video store, like a real ma and pa video store.
Oh, so it wasn't like Blockbuster or Hollywood Video or anything like that?
No, it was called Video USA. It was family owned locally, and loved it.
I miss video stores in general.
Yeah.
It was a whole experience. You had something to do. Video stores were there for me during one of like my first breakups. I think I want to thank Hollywood Video for being there for me, as they saw me every other day renting a different horror movie that I had never heard of. I recall specifically watching The Tripper.
Oh, the David Arquette one?
Yes.
That was filmed in Santa Cruz.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, one of my guitarists, Ian, is actually an extra, like a background extra in that movie, in one of the scenes.
I specifically remember that film only because of the plot of it being Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
And Jason Mewes, I think, was in it. Honestly, if you look at that cast lineup, it's a pretty top-notch cast. I mean, I think Courtney Cox, well, when she was Arquette, was in it too.
Yeah. I met David Arquette once, and I told him how much I enjoyed The Tripper and that I live in that town in Santa Cruz. And he just, he's so nice, and he was just saying that how much he loves Santa Cruz, and I thought that was cool.
Interesting enough, you told me you met Chris Kattan.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this is a great story for those who haven't heard it. So everybody knows the movie Night at the Roxbury and the scene when him and his brother yell Emilio like over and over again. They're talking about Emilio Estevez. So the story that Ash is referring to is I met Chris Kattan at a comic convention and loved him. I mean, I've always loved Chris Kattan. The first website I ever went on when I learned how to use the internet was nighattheroxbury.com. And the second website was a Chris Kattan like fan website that somebody made. So I'm telling him all these things, and he's like, "Oh, that's so nice. Like, thank you. It means a lot to me." And he's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "My name is Amelio." And he's like, "I am so sorry." And it's like, it's okay. But yeah, it's been yelled at me every day of my life.
Well, because anytime
funny, right?
Yeah, no, because anytime I see, I was like, oh, I'm going to say it. I was like, every time I see Emilio pop up liking something, that's what I think of automatically. So you met him at a comic convention. What convention?
It was I think it was called WonderCon in San Jose. I don't normally go to them.
Part of San Diego Comic-Con. It's part of the family.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I usually just stick to the horror cons, but if it's local, like that close, I'll go, especially if there's somebody I really want to meet, like Chris Kattan. I also met Mads Mikkelsen that day too, who I love from Hannibal.
So you're a Hannibal
Do you know
fan?
that actor?
Show?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, and I love him. He has a lot of good foreign movies too. But yeah, he's awesome, and I did enjoy Hannibal.
It's a really good show. It's a very solid show. During the time I saw of Hannibal, I remember when Bates Motel came out too at the same time. So I think Hannibal's a very solid show. I really much enjoyed it. I liked the basis of like it's not necessarily a horror, but it's more of like a psychological thriller, the whole show of the series.
Yeah.
And it's about the relationship of Will and Dr. Hannibal.
Yeah. And Hannibal is super evil in it. He's like the devil. He's so smart. He's always one step ahead. It's pretty compelling stuff.
Well, Emilio, is there anything else that we could talk about the album before I want to get into Fiend Force before we close out?
Well, I guess I'll say that I'm so proud of Blade Manor. I think it kicks so much ass. And I really think that like no matter who you are, what genre of music you like even if you don't like punk or metal or whatever, there's going to be something on this record that moves you. I really believe that and believe in the record. I just got to get people to listen to it. That's kind of the hard part right now. Like,
they will.
Yeah.
They will. I think it's one of the best horror punk albums I've heard recently.
Thank you.
And it's really good. I mean, I've heard some recent stuff from a lot of people. So I very much liked it because the best thing about what's going on as far as the current generation of the community in this genre and style of music is everyone's kind of, yes, it's horror punk, but they're taking different sounds and influences and putting them in versus it being like, oh, we're going to sound like the Misfits or we're going to sound like Blitzkid or, and that's what I'm actually enjoying. Like Rise from Your Grave, they have a very skate punk style sound along with horror punk.
Cool.
I'm just happy that it's very solid. It's very good. I'm happy that people are very intrigued to hear it. I want to get into Fiend Force before we close out for the night.
Yeah.
So how did Fiend Force come about? I'm glad that they're kind of up and running. Like, I hope that they're going to really continue what they used to do, which is they brought a lot of acts overseas.
Yeah. And I mean, Fiend Force broke a lot of bands in terms of like getting them exposure with the This Is Horror Punk Volume 1 and 2. I mean, I remember buying that from Hot Topic when I was in high school and like just loving it. It was the first time I heard Blitzkid with the Lupin Tooth. The owner, Torsten, is just a really special and super driven dude, like super motivated. And, he's got his own band, The Other. He does a lot of cool stuff.
They're such a cool band.
I love The Other. I love their
they're so awesome, but continue.
Yeah. and he's just always doing something and working his day job. I do not have the energy that he has, but he's always really believed and loved horror punk. And let me rephrase that. He's always believed in horror punk and he's always loved it. And you know what he's doing with Fiend Force, how he brought it back now with his partner Flo from Pyogenesis, who's super cool too. They're just doing it because they love it, because they love the genre. And Torsten now is an old friend. The very first show I ever played with Stellar Corpses was opening for Blitzkid, the other Resurrects in Order of the Fly in Corona, California. So my first show at Stellar, I got to meet Torsten. I've known him forever. Just I'm forever grateful to him for believing in me. And all these years through Dark Ride, he'd been checking in on me, saying, how's it going? Do you have any new songs I could listen to? Let's maybe work together. So yeah, we've been talking for years about doing this.
Well, is there anything you want to say to everyone that's listening or any of your fans? Anything that you want to say inspiration wise? I always ask this question in regards to anything positive you want to say that they can keep with them as far as they go on in life.
Oof. I'm glad you asked that, but that's such a big question, Ash. You have really good questions, by the way. I really appreciate it.
I've been doing this for a long time.
It's pretty cool. No, this is great. Something that's been coming up a lot recently with my friends and other musicians, I tell them, like, it might sound cheesy or I don't know. I really believe that the universe doesn't give you gifts it doesn't want you to use. So if music is your passion or whatever it may be, the universe is telling you, use it, like, go for it. And especially now, we need artists and creative people more than ever. The world's so goddamn upside down and topsy-turvy. We need good news and good art. Yeah, I mean, and to say the least, I think it's really fucking important to believe in yourself.
All right, Emilio, where can they find you? Where can they find Dark Ride? And also, there's going to be a QR code that pops up throughout this interview that you've noticed. Please scan it. It's going to take you directly to Dark Ride as far as when it comes to purchasing or listening.
Yeah. So we're on all the streaming platforms, Dark Ride. We're on all the social media platforms on Dark Ride SC. Yeah, on YouTube, you name it.
All right.
We did just sell out of all of our vinyl that I have for all the American and Canadian sales. They're all gone. So I'll have 100 more for our live shows, but yeah, they're all sold out.
That's a shame. I wanted one and I heard it glows in the dark. I'm a little upset.
Oh, I'll save you one.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we'll call it a trade.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Amelio, for coming on. And of course, everyone, check out Dark Ride. Thank you for tuning in.